Greetings, travelers and cottage specialist. Not far from our leaky hose bib, we have the access to the crawl space of the little cottage. All I got here is a board. Put that out of the side. And we have a round access hole. You might have to go on a diet to get in there. Actually, I've been in and out a couple times. I'll show you what's going on in there. Welcome to the underworld. Foundation wall looks about 10 inches thick. They build them thick because it gets cold. Plenty of room down here to crawl around. And let me show you what's going on besides the faucet. Now the floor joists span the whole thing and sit on top of this main beam that runs down the center. These are your floor joists, that's your main beam. And looks okay. They're sitting on the beam and they're connected. Some sort of Simpson connectors. Keeps the joist from rolling during quakes. I don't think they have quakes. But that main beam sits on cinder block blocks on a cap block, and that's probably all it needs. It's just a one-story little cottage. As I walk through the cottage in the Valley of Death, I feel the floor shake and quake. This section, this half of the cottage is sitting firmly on this main beam. That half, it's not sitting on anything. In fact, here's the equivalent of this, and it's just laying up here. It needs to be rolled up to where it's touching the floor joist. This is why the floor is bouncy when you walk through it. Half of the cottage is kind of bouncy. So how does this happen? Was it a Friday and they just said, don't worry about that beam support for half the cottage? So we're going to measure what that is. I've pushed it. It's just laying up there. This piece is just laying here. It never got rolled up. And we're going to roll it up and take a sledge and pound it into place so it looks like this one. And then give it some, at least screw it to the floor. We don't have any of these. We might have some of those connectors. Otherwise, you run some screws up through this beam into the floor. And if it's short, if it's not tall enough, then you put wedge underneath. Excuse me. Set some wedges between the beam and the joist. Throw some nails or screws through it so they don't pop out, and that's going to stiffen up the floor under there. So I'm going to crawl around here and take some measurements and see what we can do. And maybe we'll come back. Maybe this is it. I don't know. From down here in the crawl space, let's pause it and see what I find out. What do we find out? Well, we know this beam is just sitting there. It's not attached to anything. And we measured our distance on the rest of the floor, and this wants to be 8 inches. So we're a ½ inch. Now the joist may have sagged over the period, years. This is also sitting on some styrofoam. So I think what we do, we're going to take a floor jack and jack up the floor an inch and slide this beam and get this beam upright. It's got to be up like that, touching the floor joist. How do you forget that? I don't know. We're going to fix it. We'll cut this video off and I'll come back many hours later and show you how it turned out. All right. From the crawl space, it's your Coastal.